Blog Talk Radio.
Everyone, stop! The show's about to start.
Oh my gosh, I'm so used to Blog Talk Radio by now that I had that button ready. I was ready to go if they weren't ready to go. That's why it went so smoothly. Oh my gosh, Blog Talk Radio. Anyways, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of No Conduct Radio. Tonight we're taking your relationship questions, and we have a lot of questions that we haven't gotten to. And as I tell everybody, don't be upset with us. We can't get to every single question in one radio show, so it helps us have topics to talk about, in our other radio shows. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for sending in your questions, and keep sending it in. We will definitely get to it. So two of the questions that we had to get to from last week, which we're going to talk about later, is would women still be pro-choice after watching graphic abortion videos, and what's the easiest way to catch a liar? Which I think we've answered that before, but we'll answer it again. And then we have some new questions that came in as well. We're joined by Logic, BJ, and Shar. Shar, let's hear that new mic.
Oh, my God. That's crazy.
Shar, let's hear the new mic.
She didn't touch down yet.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, moving on.
Testing. No, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. Hello, Radio Land. How do I sound? Is it great?
We can hear you, and you sound great.
Okay,
Knock on
super.
wood.
Like, yay. Like,
yeah.
Yay. Like, totally. Okay. So I'm good.
How is everyone doing in Trump land? Oh, I mean the United States.
Good. Okay. Doing good. Trump land.
Everybody's good on this African American History Month.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've been putting my little post out every day. Well, 2 days, 3 days.
Well, they're trying to act like Trump renamed it African American History, but it's been African American History since I guess it was invented, quote unquote. But people just call it Black History Month. Barack said African American History Month his first term, but then the second term he said Black History Month. But it is what it is. Trump didn't invent that. I just want to let people know. I don't think he cares that much about black people to even change it to anything. Case in point, who does he think is still alive? What's his name again?
Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass. He thinks Frederick Douglass is still alive because he hears he's doing great things and he's very good at what he does. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
Pretty sure he doesn't care if it's Black History Month, African American Month, White History Month. He really doesn't care. And then Pence, his tribute to Black History Month was Happy Black History Month. I'm paraphrasing here. This is not the exact quote, but it's Happy Black History Month. Today we celebrate when Abraham Lincoln helped free the slaves. So so he made it about some white guy who really didn't even do anything to free any kind of slaves, but
Nope.
That's
are people still confused that Lincoln did that as a political maneuver? Like, do people really still think that it was about freeing black people? I mean, because I thought that was like common knowledge now.
Right.
I'm asking. Like, I mean, is that
they still think it's like a free the slave thing. They don't think it's like a political move for they don't think so.
Everything that's done is a political move for any Obama, Trump, Bush, any politician. Anything they're doing is a political move. So
people don't see that. They're just like,
well, of course.
Gotta see the television. Crap.
Well, before we move any further, because I messed up, well, I didn't really mess up, but the wrong information was given to me last week about that wedding march. The sponsor actually wanted it to be played again and with the correct information. So the wedding march was composed by, and forgive me, I speak Spanish, but I'm not that good. So the wedding march was composed by Pedro José Bernandez Sarria. I hope I said it right.
Who was it?
I hate you so much.
He's messing with you. You sound amazing, by the
by
way.
By Pedro José Bernandez Sarria, something like that. I don't know how to say the last name. Sarria.
Okay. Okay, I got it.
So it was composed by him, but it was played for Isabel Reina's daughter at her wedding. She paid him to compose it.
So the mother didn't compose it.
Played
the mother
at
didn't
her
create
wedding.
it.
Right. It was him.
Okay, got
Correct.
it. Mm-hmm.
But she wanted this music composed for her daughter's wedding. So Pedro composed it, and he put together the band and everybody that played it. So I'm going to play the song again. This is The Wedding March by Pedro José Bernandez Sarria. I thought that was so sweet. I thought it was sweet the first time I heard it. I still think it's sweet. So that was the wedding march, and because everybody's messaging and asking me to say it again, you vile and evil listeners, that was the wedding march by Pedro José Bernandez Sarria. Are you happy now? And you can find the wedding march on our website, www.noconduct.com. Click on featured artists and click on musicians, and you'll see Pedro's song right there, the wedding march. So we have another song coming up, but that'll be later on in the show. So we were talking about Trump. That's what we were talking about. I was curious to see, because I do wake up every day and I have to see the status of the United States from since I last went to sleep. And so I was actually curious before we came on air. I wanted to see what has changed in the first 14 days of Trump. So I know, just off the top of my head, I know he's already basically dismissed Mexico. He's told the president of Mexico to get his country in order with the bad hombres, and I quote, the bad hombres, or he'll send our troops down there to get Mexico's people in order. I know he dissed Australia, which is one of our supporters. I'm trying to remember. I read this yesterday. I'm trying to remember exactly what he told the Australian Prime Minister. Oh, that's right. He had a meeting with the Australian Prime Minister. It was supposed to last an hour, but Trump just suddenly cut it short at 25 minutes. And he was like name dropping on the call. You know, I've been talking to these people from this country, the leader of this country. I've been talking to all these leaders, and this is by far the worst call that I've been on, and this and this and this. So, yeah, he kind of tried. He
is a hot mess right now, a hot mess representing our country. I am almost ashamed to say that I am an American. If I could move to Europe tomorrow and just get away with it, so to speak, and just be able to do that, I would do that. Because really, this. What are we standing for now? I think this is about him. It's about him. I think it's a power trip. This whole moment that he's living in, to say I am president and I did it and you all elected me. And I'm gonna run things my way. It's not really about the repercussions or how it affects people and lives. It's just about him, and that and we're gonna have to suffer for that. And we're gonna feel the pain. You know, it's God. This is bad. And then what about sending those people? What about sending all those people back that were at the airport? That came over from, where are they coming from, Iraq or going to Iraq, wherever they were going in the Middle East. What is that about? How do you do that? I mean, where do they do that? Maybe I missed the story, or maybe I'm incorrectly, reliving it, but something about sending everybody back that was on their, trying to travel there or...
No, everybody that was on the banned list, he's actually sending them back. So they're trying to come home. Some of them are trying to come home. Some of them got their green cards after all this time of waiting. They just happened to get their green card in the time of Trump. And some of them are just, coming to visit family. And they were detained at airports, asked what they thought about Trump, how they felt about the United States, et cetera, and sent right on back. I know people who, like their husband, they can't come home. She's separated from, one woman is separated from her husband. Families are, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. So anyway, with Australia, John McCain actually he went down there today to kind of try and smooth things out. McCain. Also, he put Iran on notice because Iran tested like a nuclear missile. Or a missile, anyways. He put Iran on notice. Guess where he put Iran on notice? It's not that he called. It's not like he called the leader of Iran and said, "Hey, this is on frickin' Twitter."
On Twitter.
Frickin' Twitter. So Iran is like really confused. They don't know where to go with this guy. None of us do, actually. So. So apparently. Also, another thing that happened today was they have, I think it's called a national prayer. Every president does it. It's a meeting where, like, religious leaders meet, and, they're supposed to say something religious or whatever. So he says, let's ask for prayers for Arnold Schwarzenegger and his ratings with The Apprentice. Because, he needs prayers, right? So with that,
that's
if y'all
what our
look on
priorities
Twitter,
are, of course.
Right. If y'all look on Twitter, search Arnold Schwarzenegger, comes back at Trump.
Yeah,
Arnold Schwarzenegger basically said, why don't we switch jobs? Since you're so worried about ratings and you're so good at getting it, you come do this job and I'll run the country so people can sleep better at night now. I was like, oh, But I mean, are you kidding
me? Hey, listen, I would rather Schwarzenegger than Trump.
I'm telling you, I actually would.
Sadly, I have to agree. Yeah,
I actually would.
But
Okay, so we already know he's trying to take apart Obamacare so that he can name it Trump Care. Whatever he's doing with that, who knows?
Which I mentioned last week and didn't understand it.
And then what was that? He tripled the minimum wage for, what is it, the E1 visa? Is it the E1 visa? I forgot which visa it was, because then when I saw that news story, I even had to look up what the visa was because I have no idea. And apparently it's like for people who basically come over here to work, and I guess they work at lower wages. I'm not really sure. I don't really understand it. But I'm wondering if it is for the betterment of the American people, basically so that instead of businesses paying cents for like IT jobs, for instance, like instead of paying an IT worker in the United States like $15, they're paying Indians like, I don't know, $2. So I'm wondering if that's what it is, that he purposefully tripled it so then companies would look more to the United States to hire their workers. But being that I'm not really sure, if we have listeners out there that understand what that was about, please call in. And I apologize, but I'm not asking for Trump supporters because I'm not going to sit here and argue with you on the show.
The visa that you were talking about is the H-1B, which is usually used for the Indian and Asian tech portion of the industry. So like IT people from Bangladesh and India and everything, all of those call centers, that visa applies to that. So the companies that are hiring these people would be forced to pay them $130,000 a year.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Right. So basically, it looks like it's for the betterment of the American people. And I do want to point this out. I really don't like saying the American people because I think people fail to realize that America is two entire continents, North America and South America. A lot of people from the United States just say America and fail to they'll say tell Mexicans get out of America, but Mexicans do live in North America. So I just wanted to point that out.
It's crazier when they say get out of America and they're in California or Texas when they say
Texas, place that belong to Mexico. But I want to see. I don't have an opinion on this yet because I do want to see if it's better for the American people. You know, that we'll be more likely to get hired instead of Indians at like $5 an hour, like I said. Or what is it going to do to affect us? I don't know. But I do know prices will still go up because now you have to now there's going to be people from the United States looking to get hired, and we tend to want to get paid more whether we have the experience or not. Cue people thinking that the minimum wage should be $15 an hour. So with that, more than likely, prices are just going to go up. That's it. So I'm just interested to see. Not that I'm saying go overseas and get workers. I'm all for bringing jobs to the United States where we need it. I'm just curious to see where this goes. So far, that's the only possible positive aspect of his presidency that I see. Yeah. And we already know he's going ahead with the Dakota Access Pipeline. Building the border wall, trying to act like Mexico's going to pay for it. So, and that's just in the first 14 days. Good God.
Yeah. You notice how summer going to be.
Yeah, I feel like I couldn't, normally every day I put day 14, day whatever. I couldn't remember what day today was because it feels like 18 years so far.
But you know what you guys didn't bring up? But, Kai, you know what you guys left out, what you mentioned last week about the government, the freeze on the government jobs, on all those government jobs? Remember that?
Oh.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that
I forgot about that. Yeah, he also did that,
right.
put the freeze on government jobs. So there's actually a page, and I think I said this last week, there's a Twitter page for people who voted for Trump. They're all going to this one page saying how they wish they hadn't voted for him. So, but, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter if you voted for him or not. I know a lot of people think this is conspiracy theory and they don't believe it, but it doesn't matter. Trump didn't get the popular vote anyway. He got the electoral vote. The people
True. That is true.
They like to regurgitate the governors or they like to regurgitate the political, what do I want to say, meaning of the Electoral College. But when you listen to their meaning, it doesn't make any sense. The Electoral College vote is just basically who the government wanted to bring into office. Who can you control more? Who will more go with what you want? That's what the electoral vote is about. So it doesn't matter if you voted for Trump or not. Trump was going to win, and that's the end of that story. Because Hillary already had the popular vote. Again, and I want to point out, not that I wanted Hillary in office either, because she's just Trump Jr. in a skirt, but Hillary had the popular vote for some odd reason, and she was going to win. It was supposed to be her who was going to win. But for some reason, our government wanted Trump. I think they didn't think he was just going to be as unpredictable as he is. I don't know how they didn't see that. But
I think everything's going exactly to plan. I don't think that they underestimated or overestimated anything. I think they knew exactly who they were dealing with.
What kind of person he was. Yeah, they knew what kind of person.
Yeah. So what people should really be worried about, it's not about Trump. Is what people should be worried about is why the establishment wanted somebody like him in the office in the first place. Because if he does something horrendous, if he does something horrendous, people hate him already anyway, and he's already showed that he doesn't care. So a golden boy like Barack would care a lot about his persona. You know what I'm saying? Even George W., like, he was bothered by the idea that people think that he doesn't like black people. You know, he even said it in an interview, like, that hurt him to know that that's what people thought, you know. So, but Trump just does, he's a narcissist. He doesn't care. So he's the perfect person for them to say, okay, listen, we've been trying to do all this other stuff, and this guy, he will play ball and do whatever, you know, he doesn't care as long as he gets the attention and everything that he wants. So that's the perfect person for them if they're trying to do something real crazy in the future. Yeah, that's the word.
That's what I see. Yeah.
I see. I was wondering.
Because they hated him on the campaign trail, so he was hated in the beginning. So.
Yeah,
and then I actually had somebody posted soldiers died in this raid that went wrong that Trump approved. I don't really blame Trump for that because he's only been president for like 2 weeks. He approved this, they went out, soldiers died. So Trump yesterday got into his Air Force One helicopter and went to Dover, Delaware to pay his respect. People actually had a post on Facebook saying, you know, we salute you, Mr. President, going out and, you know, paying your respects and all this stuff. And I was like, what's the big deal? I'm like, Obama did it. Bush did it. Every president before them did it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is the first time they've ever seen this happen.
Mm-hmm. Everything Trump do now is going to be like, everything.
Yeah, like the first time they ever saw it. So then somebody said, you know, I salute you. I saw another post that was, I salute you, you know, going out to, you know, talk to your soldiers instead of going golfing. And I'm like, when did Barack choose to go golfing over talking? Barack was like on stage crying for people in cities that got killed, people in a nightclub that got killed. What are you talking about? Where have you been for the past 8 years?
Well, Barack is a Negro, so it doesn't matter.
That's just a shame. Yesterday, I think I was looking at Facebook and I was getting really depressed because I can't understand how people could be so racist. I just don't understand it. Just because
what country you been living in?
I don't understand racism. Basically, for me to understand racism, I have to be as crazy as they are. So it just saddens my heart to know that there are people out there that hate you just based on basically the color of your skin. Like they don't know you from Jack or Jill, but because you're dark skinned, they don't like you. Like you could have every single feature of a white person, but just be dark skinned and they won't like you. That doesn't make sense to me. But I'm not just saying white people are racist. Don't get me wrong. There are black people that are racist, and people always argue with me that black people can't be racist, which is bullcrap. Anybody can be racist. When you look up the definition of racism, it does not say a specific color, a specific gender. Anybody can be racist. And there are a lot of black people out there nowadays that are racist. And I don't understand how you can be racist when you've been neglected all these years. How are you going to turn around and do the same thing?
Well, I mean,
I don't understand it.
Why would Israelis put number tags on Palestinians and build walls and corral them into ghettos if they're claiming that this happened to them in the Holocaust, and we've all seen the footage and the pictures and all of the horrible things that were done. And if you look at the Israeli government, they're doing a lot of the same similar things that the Nazis did. So why? Yeah. And again, as you pointed out, black people are doing the same thing. That whole Rachel Dolezal thing that happened, it would have been different if she was in the position that she was in and she was embezzling money from the NAACP and doing all kind of stuff like that. But she actually was doing a lot of positive things in the black community. She had seminars on black women to love their dark skin and kinky hair. But because they found out that she was a white woman that was tanning her skin and kinking her hair because she wanted to be black, they were like, I want her out of here, and she needs to go. And so they used racism in order to get her out of there, defiantly doing that as in their own families, as they know, they have girls in their family that are wearing weaves and having blue contacts surgically put in their eyes and bleaching their skin because they want to be more Eurocentric. So how hypocritical were you to then say, oh, this woman is clearly crazy, she has to go, based on nothing else but the fact that you just found out that she's white?
Yeah,
that was the same situation that you claim happens to us and that you say holds a lot of black people back, this racism because of skin color, and you turned around and did the same thing. And not just regular people, so-called educated black people in the NAACP thought she needed to go. Crazy. Now, her paying money back for scholarships and stuff, I can totally understand that. But to fire her and to say she's no longer fit because you found out she's a white woman, that's racist.
That's crazy. That is,
yeah. I mean, when I heard about her, I just thought it was interesting because you don't usually see people trying to be black. So it was very interesting, but I wasn't like, oh, my God, I'm offended. Because it wasn't even like blackface or anything like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She was
in the media
actually
dug everything up, her mom and everything. It was like her parents saying, oh, my God, saying she was confused and all that kind of stuff. I was like, what?
Yeah, but excuse me. I disagree. People, you do see people trying to be black. Absolutely. Why do you think that so many girls want to get, a lot of people get lip fillers and injections so they have fuller lips?
That's not them wanting
like we
to be
naturally
black.
have.
You're mistaken.
No, that's not true. That's not true. And all these chicks that want to be shaped like a black girl, how we have naturally big, nice hips and asses. Okay, can I use the ass word? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you just said it twice.
And they go get tans. Can I say that? So, sorry. And then also getting the tan to look darker and have a nice darker complexion. I mean, sometimes these girls, when they sit in those tanning beds, it's like, how dark can I get? Because they do subconsciously, or whether they accept it or not, they do.
Let me interrupt you there. They're not trying to be black, because if a black person gets shot in the street, they're not going to go out and protest that. They just want to look a certain way because it's popular in the media. They're not trying to be black.
Yeah, right.
Her, on the other hand, if somebody had asked her, "Oh, you kind of look, are you black?" she would have said yes. These people who are getting lip injections, like what, Kylie Jenner, if somebody asked her if she's black, she, "Oh no, I'm Armenian." Are you serious? No, they're not trying to be black. They're just trying to do it.
No, but a lot of them admit that they're obsessed with black men or black people or how we look.
Well,
but I do get the media part. But I get the media part. I get what you're saying with that.
The point that I was making was she was actively in the community trying to increase the self-esteem of black people. And she was doing work that a lot of black women themselves are not doing. And she was doing that work. And she was identifying with black. Now, for whatever reason she was identifying with black people, who knows? That's a different discussion. But she actively was taking a part in the community in order to improve it. You know? Now, her reason for flying under the radar is, who knows? Only she's going to know that. But no, it is not the same as, you know, some girl wanting to can. They'll can as much as possible. They'll listen to rap music. They will get the lip injections. They may even put the perms in their hair to get the curls and stuff like that. But in the end of the day, they're not going to claim that they're black. And they're going to be, some of them will actually be offended if you do say that they're black. So.
But I have a question, and I know our listeners are probably like, kick my butt for this, but how come she couldn't choose what race she identified as? She identified as black. How come she couldn't say, I identify as black and leave it as that, when men can identify as women, and if you don't call him or her, use the correct pronoun, you could actually be fined for that. How come we can't do that?
Well, no, listen, to bring it closer to home, if you have black people out here that had a relative, you know, 11, 12, 13 generations back that was half German or half Scandinavian, then you have this black person who's living in the middle of Baltimore saying, "Oh, well, I'm Scandinavian." And then people go along with it because they found this person on a very distant branch in their family tree that was other than black. So that's what they identify with. How come this white woman shouldn't do that?
Speaking of which, and we need to have a show about this, I think I'm going to reach out to people that I can and try and have a show about this. Something that's just been, I'm very curious about this, and I really want to ask mixed people, like what, I don't want to say what is it like being mixed, but I see a lot of them trying to choose which one they are. Like if you're mixed with black and Spanish, a lot of them will choose Spanish, and they, you know, they'll say like they felt uncomfortable, quote unquote, acting black or something like that. Or like even I watched like it's a documentary called Hapa, which is black and Japanese. All of the ones who were mixed with black and Japanese, well, mixed Japanese and another race, all of the ones that were mixed black and Japanese all said they identified with being Japanese rather than being black. But the other ones that were mixed with British and Japanese, Australian and Japanese, not Salvadorian, he was somewhere from Latin America. I can't remember. Colombia and Japanese, they all said because they were raised in Japan, they hold the Japanese culture to high esteem. However, they also have to take in their other culture, which is, you know, I'm from Argentina. You know, my mother's from Argentina, so, you know, I do have the Argentinian flag, but I do have the Japanese flag. So my question is, like, my first question is, why is black always flushed down the toilet? Why? And then the second question would be, why do you have to choose one? Why can't you just celebrate both of your backgrounds, whatever you are? You know what I'm saying? I'm white and Salvadorian. Why can't you just be freaking German and Salvadorian, I guess?
Well,
you guys know I have no comment on this. We just went over this.
People ask you that, and they see you as another. They see your visual. They see you know, your skin color. They think one thing. So you can say I'm
right.
British
but
or
that's
whatever.
fine.
You know,
People can think what they want to think. People think what they want to think, regardless if you look black. They're going to think what they want to think anyway. But I'm talking about your psyche. Why do you feel like you have to choose one? And usually, usually, I'm not saying all the time. If you're black and something else, why is it that the black gets flushed down the toilet, and you only say that I'm this? I more identify with this, even if you've been more raised black, you know? So I just want to know if anybody's brave enough to come on here. If you even want to use a fake name or whatever, I don't care. But if you want to come up on another show and talk about
I'm
this.
I'm going to tell you right now, the answer you're going to get is going to be bullshit. I'm telling you that right now.
Well, if you come on under a fake name and you feel like you could speak truthfully, like this is exactly how you feel, we would love to do a show. And I'm going to get that show together because I'm really, interested in that. I just want to know. I just want to know.
That's crazy.
And you have to have an open mind because we're No Conduct Radio. We don't, do the political stuff, as you can clearly tell. We'll ask you questions straight. So I just really want to know.
I understand the hunger for another show, but you're not really confused about that, are you? You know why that's happening.
I am absolutely confused about that. I
agree.
really want to know.
Okay. All right.
We just kind of did a show like that a couple of weeks ago, and it turned into, we know what, even with me as an example. There's a lot of other people like me who will also be kind of they're confused or offended or they're whatever. But, it would be interesting to get some other views, but at the same time, we kind of did that, and we see which direction that went. So...
Speaking of which, and I meant to bring that up last show. So Shar was calling out all the listeners who said that when they saw her picture, she looked black. And when she posted, I guess she posted her picture on the website, on Facebook, No Conduct Radio. So if you look on Facebook, No Conduct Radio, she posted her picture, and instead of people actually posting under her picture that, you look black or whatever, I got messages during the show. I got messages after the show, but it wasn't actually on Facebook. So Shar doesn't believe y'all said that. She thinks for some reason I made it up. So if y'all would be so kind as to go to our Facebook page, find Shar's picture.
They have to scroll way down, though. They have to scroll way down.
Mixed, or you think she looks whatever, just post your response on there and don't text it to me. Post it on there. So the people that Shar thinks are imaginary that
Kai anymore.
apparently speaking in my head. If you can go to the website, it's Facebook, look up No Conduct Radio, and post your comment on Shar's picture. That'll be greatly appreciated.
There's two. There's actually, can I say this? There's actually two posts. They're pretty much one of the same. There's 6 pictures, but they have to scroll way down because that was over almost 2 weeks ago. But we do encourage all and any of your comments, guys. We really appreciate it. Please give Kai a break, though, because she was inundated with texts that I thought were imaginary. So you guys, prove me wrong. Stand up for her. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for what you believe in, whether it's against, for, in support of, not in support, whatever. We did get some comments. I didn't know one of the people. He was somehow on my friends list, but I don't know him. It was very positive, and the other person I kind of somewhat knew through someone else. So, What happened? What was that?
Nothing. But so just prove Shar wrong if she thinks I'm crazy and I have people talking in my head or whatever. But anyways, on with the show. So one of the questions we had, and oh my gosh, I have a question myself, but I'm going to ask these questions from last week. But I have a question myself because I got into a debate online, and I hate arguing with people online because it's like a billion stupid people that you have on Facebook arguing with you. Even if they can see the logic of what you're saying, they're still going to argue with you. So I really got into a heated debate last night, and I think I lasted only 2 posts. I really don't argue with people, and I already got mad and I quit. But I want everybody's view of this. So let's go to the questions from last week. So the first question from last week is, would women still be pro-choice after watching graphic abortion videos? Which,
wow.
What?
I said, wow.
First of all, this is what I'm going to say, and then I'm going to go around the room. first of all, do your research. Don't just say, I watched this graphic abortion video and I'm against abortions. Do your research, because if you're getting an abortion at like 8 months, that's actually murder. It's not an abortion. You're actually killing a person.
It is.
My belief, and other people might not, because some people just absolutely don't believe in abortion. I don't believe in having 10 kids running around. That's just me. So I believe that up until a certain point, before it actually becomes a baby, you can have an abortion. That's just what I believe. I don't know how people are under this assumption that as soon as the egg is, the egg and the sperm come together, it's suddenly a human. I don't know. It's still a freaking blood clot. It's still growing into a human, but it's not yet a human.
Damn.
It starts off as a blood clot. Are you freaking kidding me? Again,
That's
I point
horrible.
I point out to number one, do your research. Don't sit there and try and tell me it's horrible. It is a blood clot. It's not a baby. That's how babies form. Then from it's like if you look at the pictures, the sperm and the egg meet. Then it splits into 2 cells. Then it splits into 4 cells. Are you going to tell me that's a human? It's 4 cells? Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Deep breaths, Kai.
So,
woo sigh. Woo sigh.
So before that time, before it actually becomes a human, then yes, it's a woman's choice, like I mentioned, whether she wants to have an abortion or not. She can have an abortion if she feels like it before it becomes a human. Now, after it's a human, then you're actually murdering a person, and you're a cold-blooded murderer, and I don't know how people could do that. So that's just what I have to say on it. So what do y'all all have to say about, I guess I don't know. Some people watch, I'm going to tell a story. I know a couple. They're no longer together. They were in high school when they got pregnant. None of them had a job. None of them knew the first thing about children. Like I said, they were still in high school. They actually went to get an abortion, but the clinic they went to, there were protesters in front of that clinic. The protesters handed them pamphlets and everything like that about, what you're doing when you're having an abortion. And they showed them, like, pictures of actual babies, like, 9 months, and these women had an abortion, 7 months, and these women had an abortion. This is what they showed them. So then the couple decided that, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm killing a human, which they were only like 2-3 weeks along, so it was still a forming cellular blood clot. It was not a human yet. But they felt like they would be killing a human, and they decided to keep their baby. Fast forward, and the kid was like 10 and still couldn't read or say their ABCs. So they kind of weren't ready to be parents. But people want to jump on this whole, oh, no abortion, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes children are just better off if you just didn't have them. So if you can't have a baby, if you're not emotionally ready for a baby and you're not going to give the baby up for adoption or anything like that, why are you going to bring one into the world? You can't afford it. You don't have the mentality for it. You're not going to be around it. You're not going to raise it healthy, mentally, spiritually, and every other way. Why would you have a baby just because society is telling you if you're 2 weeks pregnant, an abortion is murder? That's what I have to say about it. Next.
Okay, Kai, regarding this
next.
Regarding this child who, for example, can't say his ABCs, I guess that was just one example. That does not mean that he cannot grow into a progressive child who then becomes an adult, who becomes a very a substantial part of society, becomes an upstanding citizen, and maybe even the president. So
he had to go through like a horrible childhood to get to that point. If he gets to that point,
right? I'm saying that does happen, but that happens with parents who plan their child also. Planned Parenthood. That doesn't mean that a child is not going to have, dysfunctional family environment because their parents weren't ready for them. What happens is once you become an adult, then you make your own choices about how your life is going to go and what kind of person you're going to be. Yes, it's shaped from who you are.
I mean, who you are.
Who you are is shaped from. No, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
But you're saying this child has to go through a horrendous childhood and then pick himself up, him or herself up, when he becomes an adult and fix it. That's what you're saying.
Well, but most of us have to do that, even when we're raised in a so-called loving environment. I mean, look how many dysfunctional families there are that didn't even realize that they weren't raising their children right because perhaps they were too young, but they loved each other and they loved their child, but weren't making the right choices. And there's still hope. I mean, we don't know how those parents can progress even within their own relationship, within their own environment, even with the way they view their child. They were so young, but eventually they're not going to be young. And eventually maybe they might go to school. They might actually, start a business. We don't know that won't change. I am totally against abortion, but by the time you get 6 or 7 months pregnant, you are killing a human being. That is murder.
Yes, I agree.
That's exactly how. Yeah, and it's unfortunate to have a child when you know you have no business having a child. But all I'm saying is that there's still, in many cases, there's still hope if you are brought into the world at the wrong time by the wrong people. Sometimes there's an opportunity to become somebody, because think about how many people do have a rough childhood or abusive or what have you, when these are parents that really thought they wanted that child. I mean, it just happens. I think, if anything, it goes back to immaturity and lack of education. If you're too young, you probably shouldn't have a child together, maybe not even be married and have a child together. If you're uneducated, maybe you should focus on getting an education and then take your time and have a child.
And then they're about to have a kid, you're saying that even though they're 16, they should go ahead and keep the kid because you absolutely don't believe in abortion.
No, I don't. Absolutely not. No. No.
Wow.
No.
So,
no,
I don't
absolutely not.
Wow.
No. I'm sorry. Except for rape. Rape is my one exception. Excuse me. I feel like if you were raped, under no circumstances should anyone expect that you should carry that child, or you have to carry that child, or that's a terrible thing to get rid of that child. Now you're bringing a demon seed into the world, literally. We don't know who this person is in many cases.
But according
that has
to your
impregnated
logic, you don't know if
in
you're
a
just
violent
killing
way.
the next president of the free world or whatever. That's according to your logic,
it's
because
possible,
that child could be born. That child could be born and could be the best thing that happened to a community. So you have to either be for it or against it. You can't just have, my one exception is rape, because then according to your logic, you're killing the person that could be doing good for the community or could grow up to be a good functioning member of society. But he just happened to be born.
Okay, and there are, yes, that's true, and there are products, children who are born out of that. Out of that violent act. There are children that come out of rape. That come from that, and they do, become important parts of society and the world and all that, and they eventually can move on with their lives. But it's just something about the idea of a mother having to carry that child around. Especially when imagine you're walking down the street and someone just snatches you and takes you in the back of an alley and rapes you, and then you have to carry their child. You have this thing inside of you. That's just. Oh God! I understand. I guess I'm on both sides.
According to our previous co-host, I asked that same question, and she said she might force her husband to be a father to the child.
Oh yeah, yep.
Of the man that raped her.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
I don't remember that. Oh,
yeah.
Well, I missed that one.
Well, I have some messages coming in. I have messages coming in. So first of all, there are so many rape victims who have had babies and they're doing great. There are people that have children who have planned them, and some of them are hell on wheels. So basically, that's what I was going to say. Also,
that's what I just
you're
said,
saying
though.
Just because you're raped, that's when you say abortion is fine. But then a 16-year-old has a baby. She doesn't want a kid, but society has taught her that abortion on a whole, 100%, even 2 weeks out, is horrible. So she has that kid, either A, tries to flush it down a toilet, B, dumps it in a dumpster, or C, and I'm not saying all of them like this because some people would just really love their children, but I'm just pointing out the most horrendous aspects. So, or C, would despise the child because you basically ruined my life. I could have been a cheerleader until blah, blah, blah and gone to college, and you ruined my life. And they just despise the child. But according to you and the rest of society, she absolutely shouldn't have an abortion because that's just what you think.
I guess I can't get past the act itself, and to have to be, to be forced to be told that you cannot abort this child. That's what I thought. Wasn't there some kind of a?
But you're talking about rape. You're talking about rape,
Yeah.
and that's my point. Society is forcing it on people that you cannot have an abortion. However, if you have an abortion in the early stages, it's the same as just having your period. It's no different. So if every time you have your period, do you cry for the blood clot that passes? Do you, oh, my God, that could have been my daughter. It's a blood clot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Okay. Can we get on the blood clot for a second? All right. Let's jump in here. All right.
We're making the men and
we need a man to interject on this, Niall. Yeah.
You okay?
All right. In my opinion, I think that everyone, they're not fit to be parents, you know, and you have to. I think a lot of people make selfish decisions, you know, in their life because they're worried about what people will think. They're worried about what people will say. They're even probably. I've heard a girl say she got pregnant by some guy who she knew 3 sheets to the wind. She never would see this dude again. So you already knew what kind of life that was going to be for the kid. But she was thinking about keeping the kid because she didn't know, well, when is the next time that I might have a baby? You know, it might be years before I meet somebody, and I don't want to be too old. It became a cosmetic thing. So it was like you're about to raise a child whom you know will have a father that doesn't want to have anything to do with him or her. You're about to put a kid through that because you don't know if you're going to meet Mr. Right in an acceptable amount of time as far as you're concerned. You know, like that, to me, that is, you're thinking about you. You're thinking about what your life is going to be and how you're going to feel about yourself instead of you work at a hair salon or you work at a Walmart and you're making change, you know what I'm saying, and you have no insurance. You can't afford your own place to live, and this guy is nowhere to be found. You only know his nickname. You know, you don't even know how to track this dude down if you really needed to. So you know nothing about this person. This child, at best, is going to have a fractured life. But all you're thinking about is whether or not you're going to be young or old. And when the next time you're going to have a baby or have a chance to have a baby. That's selfish to me. That's selfish, you know. Like, as a parent, you have to think about a lot of stuff. You have to think about the climate that you live in as far as not weather, but the country, you know. And I don't – this is going to sound judgmental, but I'm just making a point. If I lived in a war-torn country like Syria, or I lived in a place like Iraq or Iran, or even if somewhere like China that I know is not stable, you know, because the government does a lot of weird, wacky stuff, I'm not bringing kids into that, you know, because I don't know what's going to happen. Even here in this country, it's the same way. You know, if I lived in the South or I lived somewhere where I know a couple of years ago they drug a black man to death, I'm not having a kid there and staying there because it's a risk. I got to move somewhere where it's a better situation. It's a better educational system. You know, if I'm living somewhere where it's nothing but charter schools that don't care really about education, they care about money, and I want to go to a blue ribbon school district that is still public, then I need to figure out what I'm going to do money-wise. I need to get a job. I need to have the insurance that's necessary. And a lot of people, when they conceive children, seems to me, you know, that most people assume that they're going to have a healthy child. You don't know if your kid is going to be deaf, blind, some way crippled, where you're going to need even more money and more care to provide for this kid. And it's just not enough thought, from what I see. It's not enough thought that goes into having kids and what you're doing. I know.
I have one, and I knew having a child was going to be hard. I didn't know how hard. And then on top of it, I have a kid with something as simple as allergies. It's not even a it is a life-threatening disease, I guess, but it's not anything like she's crippled or anything like that. But she has so many allergies. I had to learn how to clean for her, how to cook for her. She's not like a normal person. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. She's just like, you have to learn. I had to learn how to do different recipes. You have to tell the school this. You got to tell wherever she's going this. She has to walk with a medicine bag. She sees a doctor. I have never been to the doctor so much in my life. Like, I go to my pharmacist, and I'm like, hey, Mike, how are the kids? How are the wife? You know, they know us by name. Like, and then in comes, like, just regular parenting. I didn't know that you had to be, like, when they're younger, you're their fridge, and then you're also their freaking cabinet. You're their pack mule. You're the psychologist. You have to be everything. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God. Yeah. And I wasn't prepared for that. And then the expenses. If you live in, like, where we live, the Northeast, you have to buy clothes for every season. Coats are like $80 minimum. You got to buy boots and gloves and every season, and they grow every, 6 months they grow. You just got to take all that into effect, and you're talking about I'm 16 and I'm having a baby. I don't even have a job. McDonald's isn't going to cover a kid. McDonald's isn't going to barely even cover you. But because you don't believe in abortion, this is the what you're going to bring the child into, and look for the government to pay for it? Really? I guess if Trump has his way, a lot of you people are going to be sad because he takes away that Medicaid and food stamps and stuff.
No, but Kai, apparently he wants to make minimum wage $15 an hour, so they won't be doing as bad as we think at McDonald's. Because right now Burger King pays $15 an hour in San Francisco. Their cost of living is obviously higher.
I'll leave that to Logic. Burger King pays $15 an hour, Logic, and what happens?
What?
They had to lay all but 4 or 5 of them off because they couldn't afford to keep that many
exactly. So minimum wage went up, but nobody could afford it. So then you just lose your job, and then what?
First of all, I don't believe that. That's not going to happen anyway.
The entire state of California went up. Like, there are small businesses, which every economist will tell you, small businesses would drive a lot of the industry in this country. I mean, mega conglomerates like Walmart, McDonald's, they're untouched. They're global, companies. They got so much money it doesn't matter. But small places like, and this is a fictional place, but let's say some guy opens a place called Big Kahuna Burger, right? And he's out there doing his thing. Now that California has made it mandatory to pay part-time workers $15 an hour, these small business owners cannot afford anymore to keep people. So they either have no workers or they only have maybe 2 that can only work 10 to 15 hours a week because that's all they can afford. And so they either have to raise their prices, which if this guy has to raise his prices because he's buying his buns and his meat and his ketchup and all that, McDonald's is unaffected by that because they have their own factories that make that stuff. They don't have to buy it from anybody, so they could outlast that, and this guy will go under. So all of the small businesses that would open up, and it's not just food. It's if a guy opens up a detail shop for cars, or he's opening up some woman is opening up a furniture store, or a massage therapy. People come together and start their own company for massage therapy. They can't have a receptionist that they pay $15 an hour to. Crazy.
Exactly.
Everything suffers. Yeah.
Okay.
And then all of the other $15 an hour jobs mean nothing now because that's minimum wage. Everything else goes up.
Yeah, but minimum wage. But I don't think it's going to go through with Trump trying to make minimum wage $15 across the board. I don't think that'll ever happen throughout all of America. I don't believe so. There's no way.
Never say never.
All right, can I
no, I mean, it just doesn't make logical sense. Sorry, Cal.
2 things. All right, 2 things.
I got
to get our second commercial out of the way. And also, a listener message in. I understand both views. I have mixed feelings because I've had 2 miscarriages. So when I see these young and even older women having babies and then get an abortion because they don't want the child, it pisses me off, especially when you have all types of birth control to prevent getting knocked up. So I wanted to read that. I understand where she's coming from. I don't know if I should tell this story, but I guess I will. This is no context or whatever. The main reason my daughter's here is because like 2-3 months before that, I had a conversation with somebody very close to me, and she was talking about the same thing our listener was talking about. She's had many miscarriages, and she's only had one child, and she was telling me that think about it, and this might be your only chance to have a kid, blah 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 blah. So when I did finally get pregnant, I was sitting here thinking about her words. And I'm like, well, what if later on I do want children and this was my one time I could have had one and this and this and this and this? So I had my child. So I understand where you're coming from. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I love my kid to death. Don't get me wrong. I love my kid to death. But I really didn't want children. But you never know how you're going to feel later on in life. You know what I'm saying? So... but I love my child, and I do everything for her, and I like I said, she has these allergies and stuff, and I basically put my life on hold for my kid. And I always remind people when they're treating their children bad and whatnot, your child didn't ask to be here. You didn't have to have it.
Nope. That's true.
They're here looking at you with their innocent eyes, looking for you to take care of them, and you're treating them like crap, talking about you ruined my life. No. You ruined your own life. You're the one who had the child. So no matter how I felt like I wanted kids or not, that's not her problem. That's my problem. So I don't put that on my child. I treat my child as best as I can possibly treat my child. I go through the sleepless nights. I didn't sleep for the first 2 years of her life because of her illnesses, and I go through whatever I have to go through because she didn't ask to be here. That was my decision. So, but people look at me crazy when I talk the way I talk, like, oh my God, how could you say that? I'm being truthful.
Really?
Motherhood and parenthood isn't freaking butterflies and Bambi running through the forest.
No,
it's freaking hard.
It's not Disneyland. That's real.
It sure isn't. But if you say it out loud, people look at you with disdain. Like I thought, because you see it on TV, I thought that as soon as you see your kid, you fall immediately in love with them. I didn't. Don't get me wrong. I would have snapped anybody's arm who tried to touch her. I was immediately protective of her. But in love, no, that grew. That grew over time, me getting to know her, and you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't immediately in love with her. But if I tell somebody that, they look at me like, oh, my God, what kind of person are you? Dude, I just met this kid. How am I going to be in love with her? Are you serious? Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I will protect her with my life, but I'm not in love with her. But now I am. That's my baby. I love the crap out of her.
Drag.
Are you finished?
You still, whoa.
She's cute to you, but we don't care. And you kept her because you felt guilty. So what? Join the club.
Shut up, Logic. As you listeners can well see, Logic has no children. He's a jackass.
And
anyway.
I am loving every moment of life.
Yeah, I'm loving every moment.
Shut up. Good. Anyway, let's go ahead and go on to our song. And we're going to play Throwback Thursday by SCOTTY CHAMS, produced by Layered Music, I think. And the main collaborator is Hooks or Us. So
wait a minute, hold on. Before you get into that, somebody told me I should have a kid because when you get old, they'll help you. Like, first of all, that's a lie because I see how people treat old people now. You know what I mean? They come in and start to harvest their house right before they die, and they know that, you know, this person is about to kick the bucket. Oh, who's getting the dresser? Oh, can I have the coat? And blah, blah, blah. Like, no, kids, that's not what kids are for. Two, that's what an investment into a retirement fund is for. I don't have to worry about a kid. As long as I got enough money invested in my retirement for Shady Acres, a 5-star place to have me and treat me like a human being, I can go out in style.
Shady Acres. Shady Acres.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm not going to go into the religious aspect of it because I was going to say at Shady Acres, nobody's going to care after you die. The only thing they're going to care about is that your bill isn't getting paid anymore. You said what?
I said we don't talk religion here, remember?
Well, like I said,
to the commercial.
Shady Acres is not going to care that you're dead. They're only going to care that, oh, man, I have the space open.
Commercial.
Logic is an ass. Anyways, Throwback Thursday by Scotty CHAMS. Here we go.
Biggie Small.
Yeah, I'm going so hard, so fast that you can keep up because I'm running the track and I'm the captain of the ship, a social activist. I'm out in islands and now it started pretty lit. I'm here and then I'm gone. You can call it magic, but I'm just doing it up a month so you can have your fun. But really, I gotta dip and go and rip and then I'm sipping on something. Got me slipping with my wit and you be tripping because this is what you wish it, but this is just my ambition. I'm seeing through the askets and I'll just move my feet and distance myself from all the negativity because you should do you. I'm just doing me. My vision's so clear now, I finally see everything that I was meant to be. So when you finally realize that you missed out all the rhymes and all the good times with your petty lies, you might find that you regret the bad, but I ain't phased, I ain't mad. I knew it had to happen to get me where I am now, inspire me for rapping. But you ain't real, you ain't jacking my style. It really feel like no one felt me in a while. But you could throw in a song, smile and sing it all. Cause when you're in a throwback, you should know that this was coming on. Since we all kings and pawns, we should try to get along, and you should just move on. Like Throwback Thursday, and you still thinking about me, but I erased every single memory we had. Too late to want me back. Flashback Friday, when you start thinking about me, may I suggest that maybe you move on from the past, 'cause you'll never get me back. Yeah, you'll never get me back, so why you pressing me for raps? We just chill out and hit hops to drink the tap, but never leave a tab. I leave it if I'm not tripping. This was all just a switching, cause we all winning when I'm trilling, hands up to the ceiling. I only had to be real to steal the spotlight on the mic. I'm sounding alright, cause I'm up all night. I'm working on the vision, I keep it in sight till I'm back and bad, and I'm a little bit whacked on every single track. It's way too much politically, that's the way I spit it, because that's just who I was, that's who I am now. But y'all don't understand how I made it. Yeah, and I always told you that I was never playing, laying it out, saying my doubts, singing about the past. I'm telling y'all to move on, so long before the song even came out, before I even started to think about it all again. This just hit me when the beat was sitting in my mind all the time. I took you out of mine and I put it in the rhymes. You might want to come back, but you should know that I've been way too busy putting schwa on the map. And this is what happened. It's Throwback Thursday and you still thinking about me, but I erased every single memory we had. Too late to want me back. Flashback Friday when you start thinking about me, may I suggest that maybe you move on from the past, 'cause you'll never get me back. Never get me back. Remember that? I was too busy doing all these raps the way you acted. It was bound to happen. Seems like so long ago, and since then I've been on the road, taking on the role of the villain. If that's the only way to get it and actually get credit, y'all already know I'm set it. I've got blessings, I've got stresses, I'll tell I learned lessons, but if you ain't got the message, it's Throwback Thursday and you still thinking about me, but I erased every single memory we had. Too late to want me back. Flashback Friday when you start thinking about me, may I suggest that maybe you move on from the past, 'cause you'll never get me back. All it needs is a little bit of magic with the madness. Y'all know it's all day I'm grinding at this.
And we're back. So that was Throwback Thursday by Scotty CHAMS. And like with any other music, you can find it on our website, www.noconduct.com. Click on Featured Artists and click on Musicians, and you'll see Throwback Thursday there. You'll also see the Wedding March by, I'm not saying the name again, by Pedro. You'll see that on there as well. And you can see where to listen to them, where to buy them, where to find more about the artists. It's all on our website. Also, I want to say,
that was a cool song.
For everybody who's calling in, 607-203-5. I see you calling and hanging up and calling and hanging up. I'm not sure why, but if you're trying to get a word in, you actually have to hit 1 to let us know that you want to speak. 607-203-5378. If you're just listening, then you don't hit 1. But if you're actually trying to speak, go ahead and hit 1, and we'll bring you on the air. So I'm confused as to why certain people are calling in, dropping. If you wanted to say something and I wasn't answering you, but I didn't know that you wanted to come on, you have to hit 1. If you want to text in, you could always text in at 484-840-3627. So I want to go into my question because we only have about 20 minutes left. So yesterday, like I said, I was having a conversation online, and what it was there's this woman and her daughter. The daughter's about 7, 8 maybe, and they're dressed like the woman is wearing a sports bra and leggings, and the daughter's wearing the same thing. So like I said, she's like 7 or 8, and they're doing a dance together. However, the dance has like gyrating, like hip gyrations, coming up slowly with your butt poked out, swinging your hair back and forth, stuff like that. So, they're doing this dance together. Obviously, it's on YouTube. Obviously, it's for everybody in the world to see. And then it has hashtag mother-daughter goals. That's what it is. So I said, not my mother-daughter goals. I wouldn't have my kid dressing and dancing like that and putting it on YouTube to make it easier for pedophiles. If I were to do that, I would keep it age appropriate for my precious daughter, and then I put hashtag mother-daughter goals. So then somebody else came back at me and said, well, pedophiles chill in the park watching your little kids play in a sandbox. I said, so should I help them get easy access to watching my kid? That's like saying I should drive with my eyes closed. I'm going to die one day anyway. Just because you know it's going to happen doesn't mean you help it along. So then the person said, you didn't get the point. Pedophiles like little kids. They would probably be more attracted to your fully clothed child than this girl, mainly because yours may look more childlike. So then I just sent them an emoji crazy. Like I was blinking, like, are you serious?
Wow.
And then somebody else came up and said, well, if that's the case, you shouldn't get your kid in any kind of sports, gymnastics, dancing, anything. Maybe hockey will be good for your kid. And I'm like, are you people listening to yourselves? Are you serious right now? They're actually saying it's okay for a child to be dancing like an adult and dressing like an adult, and their logic is because pedophiles will more not look at them because they're more doing adult stuff than child stuff. Now, I want y'all's take on it. Am I crazy or what? So, BJ, would you have your daughter dressing in a freaking not even a holiday, it's just a sports bra and leggings and doing those kind of dances on YouTube for billions of people to see it?
Wow. I wish I could see that. How old is she, do you think, Kai? Since we can't see the picture, the video.
She's like a baby. She's like 7 or 8.
Wow.
See, some other think that's cute, to dress up. That's crazy. That's, And you got
so BJ, you wouldn't have your daughter doing that. What if your wife had your daughter doing that and you just happen to see it on YouTube? What would you do?
Oh, when I get home, it'll freak out. It'll be a mad house in there. It'll be some furniture moving. Domestic violence. I'm telling you that now. It'll be domestic violence.
Wow.
Yes. That's right.
Okay, Shar, I want to ask Shar, because Shar, you tend to have a completely different view than I have. I believe in covering up your goodies, only your husband sees your goodies. You believe in it's a woman's world, we can show whatever we want, Oh, and that's another thing that the person said. That it reminded me, because women, their whole thing is just because I'm dressed in a short skirt that's showing the beginning of my ass does not mean that you can look at it. You need to control yourself. I don't need to control myself.
Wow, I wouldn't have that attitude.
Women have said that.
Crazy.
And that's what somebody told me on here, too. They said just because she's dressed like that and she's dancing like that, anybody with the mindset that she's dancing sexy, y'all have the problem, not her. Which I don't believe the little girl has the problem. She's just following what her mom says. I think it's the mom that has the problem. So, based on the fact that you are the complete polar opposite than me, And if you had a daughter,
most of the world a complete polar, but isn't most of the world a complete polar opposite than you? Because your views are very strong and they go way left. Kai, but you have a strong personality. You have a very strong personality, and you're very different and eccentric. And the things that you say are going way the other direction. A lot of times, that's just how. Because you'll say, "Well, I don't care if anybody thinks this, but this is what I think." I don't know. So I'm thinking, don't most people have completely opposite views than you do about almost anything? Because you're very, besides being overly opinionated, you don't think so? Okay, go ahead. Just shoot me with it. Let me hear.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not a bad thing. It's just strong.
I think a lot of conservative people would agree with Kai on this one.
Oh,
okay.
Well, I was about to say on this one. I thought you meant period. Well, okay. So yeah, before we go into what you said, we'll go into that at a different show. But before we go into what you said, what do you think, Shar? If you had a daughter, would you do something like this? Would you let her dress like leggings or pants, and she has a crop top so you can see her belly, and then doing all these provocative dances?
No, I haven't seen the dances, but I do think that it gives the wrong idea. It definitely gives the wrong impression because you can't control how other people will view your child. But I don't see anything wrong with a little girl wearing like a cute little short dress and we're just going out, to the mall or to the movies. But if she's dressing and then dancing in that provocative way in that whole moment, I think that's giving a whole nother message.
How short is the dress? What? You mean over the knee?
I didn't see the dress. I don't see any of this. I didn't see
No,
anything.
you said a cute little short dress, so they're asking how short are you talking?
Yeah.
Okay, but who doesn't see little children that are that age just wear like cute little short dresses? They're just going wherever. They're just a little kid. When you get too much, when you get older, then you're not supposed to dress like that. What?
Define a short dress.
Yeah. Okay. I am only saying that if she's dancing in a provocative way, I don't think she should wear anything that's so suggestive.
We need
but
you
a
to
little
focus.
girl,
How short
many little
is the short dress?
Short dress.
Shar.
A little
focus
girl.
Focus on the question. How short is the short dress?
It's short. They're little girls. You're not supposed to look at a little girl like that.
Is it over the knee?
No.
What little girl wears a dress over the What little girl wears a dress over her knee?
Let's move on. Okay. We don't have the time to sift through this maze. Let's move on. Okay. Short dress, going to the movie. What else were you saying?
Who?
She said, but the provocative dances she doesn't agree with. However, my definition of provocative
I don't
dance
think you should dress like anything if you're doing a provocative
My definition of provocative dance and her definition of provocative dance, and apparently the entire world who agrees with Shar and doesn't agree with me, definition of provocative dance could be completely different. So what I was saying is the way she was dancing was she was, in the islands we call it whining. I don't know what you call it here.
I've heard that, yeah.
Moving your hips in a circular motion.
Oh, whining, okay.
She was whining.
Okay, so she's doing that, and then at one point in time, they're on the ground, and to get up, she sticks her butt out and slowly gets up.
That's crazy. Man,
and then, they're shaking their hair back and forth and running their hands through their hair.
Listen, you don't.
To me, that's all provocative dancing.
You don't have to re-explain what they did. First of all,
I mean, she's
breaking
it down.
The most disturbing part of this is I don't know what is going on with parents nowadays that they are so desperate and thirsty for attention that when they do something for their kids or do something with their kids, they have to videotape it and put it online and see how many likes they get.
Right.
They want to sit up here and then video them cooking with their kids, or they want to video them disciplining their kids. It's so much of a hunger for attention.
Exposure.
It's like, why don't you just be a parent? I don't understand what's going on with people, period. 2, if my girl, no kid involved, if my girl was on a video in yoga pants or tights dancing like that, I would break up with her when I got home. Because, again, just so I can understand who I'm dealing with a girl that likes to videotape herself wiggling her ass all over the video and put it out there to see how many people's going to like it. That's who you are? Because if that's who you are, I don't need to be connected with somebody like that needs to do that
I agree.
in order to get attention on the internet. That's not the kind of person that I need to associate myself with. 3, kid is disturbing on many different levels. Whoever says that this is not a case, again, falls into the rest of the categories with these people that are so thirsty for attention that they don't find a problem with this. No grown woman or kid should be going out the house in yoga pants or tights as if that's pants that you should be wearing outside on a regular day. I don't care what anybody says. If any girl goes out the house in tights and she's just walking around like she got on jeans or a regular pair of pants, you're a slut because you're looking for attention. That's what that is. Because if men went out the house in biker shorts all day and all you saw was their bulge and their crack all day, that would be like, what's going on with him? Why is he doing that? But you would know what the reason is. You know what I mean? Or better yet, here's a better example for a guy. If a dude is really cut and diesel and he's walking around in an Under Armour shirt, you never see him in a regular T-shirt or a button-up shirt. He always has Under Armour shirts on. He is so desperate for you to see his midsection and his cut and his. That's what it's about. So that's what it is. You have to be honest with yourself. No woman should feel comfortable going out the house with skin tight stuff on constantly and having a camel toe jammed up her crotch. It's like, ew, what are you doing that for? I'm sorry. I think children's pageants like that John Benet Ramsey girl, I think pageants like that are perverse and disgusting.
Yep.
You know, you got
that
these
is
kids
very
coming out on stage
yes.
with 2 pieces on, and, you know, it's like, what is the point? This is ridiculous. This 2-year-old has on lipstick and rouge. Why?
Mm-hmm.
And what grown man goes to that? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
My thing is, back in the day, fathers used to have a problem with their children going out, like their girls going out with a skirt that's too short. They would stop them, like even on TV. Back in the day, they don't do that on TV anymore. But on TV, they'll be like, "You're wearing that. You better go upstairs and change, or so you're not going anywhere." And the girl would be like, "Dad." The mother would always be like,
They used to do it with their women too.
Fine.
If their wife was going out and she had on a dress that was a little bit too light, he'd be like, "Hey, whoa, where are you going?"
Yeah, showing that side.
Yeah, I'm going out. But now it's like I said, everything masculine is being demonized. You know, so they try to act like if a man has something to say about his daughter dressing like that now, he's being controlling. No, maybe he knows a little bit more about men than you do, so he doesn't want his daughter to go down that road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, like I said, back in the day, they used to say something, and women used to tell them to, it's okay, Dave, blah, blah, blah. Nowadays, if you look at TV, the girls are dressing like adults, like it's crazy, the amount of makeup. Go to Disney Channel. Just go, all y'all, everybody that's listening, just go to Disney Channel, and you'll see it there. They're dressed completely like grown women with 5-inch stiletto heels and short skirts. And going out, like they'll show them in school and stuff. I remember in my school I had a dress code. It couldn't be like what your your pencil or your between your knee.
The skirt could not be above your knee. That's what it was when I was little. Like when the girls had skirts, couldn't be above your knee.
And those shorts.
You know, and nowadays girls are going like I don't know what time these children wake up because they go to school in a full face of makeup. Hair done, stiletto heels, and supposedly going to learn. I wore sneakers throughout high school, and the most I wanted to dress up like was like kind of Aaliyah. I had the baggy jeans, but then the tight shirt, and then the sneakers. That was the most I wanted to dress like.
In my school,
I went through that
school,
same phase.
Girls could not have lipstick. They could have lip gloss. And they could have chapstick, but they could not have lipstick. If they had lipstick on, and if they had makeup on, they had to get their parents to come get them and take them. Or they had to go to the bathroom and wash them off.
Those big earrings. Yep, those big hoop earrings.
The truck earrings.
Listen, Shar, hold on, wait a minute. Now I'm about to call BS on something. Shar, you know that you're older than me. You are not going to tell me back in your day that you can come to school with a full face of makeup and lipstick and rouge. You know, you could not. There's no possible way. No possible
I don't
way.
remember anybody being
even
sent
my
home
mom.
I don't think that they were even in your business like that. It was what you're wearing. You couldn't wear like short shorts or a really short skirt. I've never heard of anyone being sent home because of makeup. No.
Shar and BJ are more in my mom's age. I'm not trying to make y'all sound old. It's just a fact. Y'all are more in my mom's age, and my mom said that even when you got pregnant, you didn't go to the regular high school like everybody else did. You had certain classes that you had to go to, or a different school, but you didn't intermingle with just the regular students if you got pregnant as a teenager.
They still do
Is that true?
They still do that now.
I didn't know that.
They still do that now.
They don't.
Yeah, they did that when I was in school.
I was in 7th grade with a girl that was pregnant. Are you serious?
Oh, they definitely did that when I was in school, and I know plenty of schools now that do that. But didn't your mother grow up in the islands though? Because didn't they have their own way of handling, growing up and all of that? I mean, didn't she grow up in the islands? It might have been different.
But that's how it was.
Why I asked
you.
So
BJ,
thing.
BJ, you went to school with girls that were pregnant?
Yeah. I can remember a few, yeah.
No, but they probably had different classes. I'm sure they were separated. They separated them when I was in school.
I don't.
Well, that's what I was saying. She said you were separated. The pregnant girls didn't go to your regular classes.
Right.
What are you talking about? Wasn't my mom in the islands? You're saying the same thing I said.
I'm just asking you. Maybe it was even more so prevalent in certain. It might be different. Well,
don't say that.
I mean,
listen, hold on. All right, listen. I don't want to go too far down this school path because it's not important. The issue is, in nowadays society, they are trying to act like, if you watch an old episode of Married with Children and watch how Kelly is dressed, and she, in today's standards, sometimes she's considered conservative. What she has
conservative,
on.
right?
But she was a whore.
Hellish.
She was a slut on that show. That was a slut.
Totally.
So now, if you look at nowadays, you look at the average girl walking around. Could be straight A's, could be a great kid. She is dressed like Kelly Bundy. All right, and you're not going to tell me it's the issue with fashion. What it is a lax approach to morality. You cannot. No woman, if she wants to be honest with herself, is going to say if she conducts herself like a whore, that she is going to get a man who truly loves her and considers her to be a good woman. It's not happening. You'll get plenty of sex, but you're not going to get dudes who care about you. You are not going to have a life that is fulfilled with good people in it. If you hang with, and that's including a woman who doesn't consider herself a whore, but she hangs with whores. You have a reputation because you're hanging with whores. If your friend is known to be a parking lot gobbler, she just goes into the club and then gets in dudes' cars. They're going to call her. Gobbler. They're going to call her. Oh, you mean that girl that hangs with Stephanie the slut? Oh yeah, you think she's giving it up? Why not? She's with her all the time. They're going to think you're two of the same kind. They just don't know you. They know
birds
her,
of a feather
but they
flock
don't
together. That's true.
Exactly.
That is
true. So by association.
But women tend to try and say that only about men rather than other women.
What? Well, because again, they're not being realistic with themselves.
I'm a woman, and I'm saying that is true. But Kai, I have to ask you a question. How are BJ and I closer to your mom's age when I'm only like 16 years older than you? So she would have had to literally give birth to you at 15.
Oh boy,
how is that possible?
It's okay.
I apologize, sir. I apologize. I said anything about numbers. We understand that you're 49 and a half. Let's get past that. We only have 90 seconds left. We only have 90 seconds left. So I want to point out that what we're going to be doing, what Logic's going to be doing for the rest of African American History Month is posting this week's Black Hero. So if you go to our page, No Conduct Radio, you'll see this week's Black Hero is Bass Reeves, which is the real Lone Ranger. On TV, they make you believe it's a white guy, but it's actually a black guy.
Okay.
So go on No Conduct Radio
Logic.
at Facebook and learn more about Bass Reeves. Next week, we're going to be answering questions like, is it possible to revive your sexless marriage? What do I do if my girl is
some dumb questions.
What do I do if my girlfriend is acting like she no longer loves me? She hasn't said it, but she's definitely acting like she no longer loves me.
Beat it out of her.
And we will finally get to your caller, we will finally get to your question. What is the easiest way to catch a liar next week? Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, Pedro Jose, that's all I'm going to say, and Scotty CHAMS with Throwback Thursday. Thank you for joining us. See you next week, 6 p.m.
Please go to our
time
page
right here on No Conduct Radio.
If you want to see my pictures, go to the page and give your opinion.
Picture that she reposted on Facebook, it's there on Facebook.
Good
God. Good night.
Give your opinion.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
No, they're asking. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.